Well, I mean, the exciting thing to do would be some sort of electric vertical takeoff and landing, supersonic.
Vertical takeoff and landing, meaning no need for a runway. Just shoot up straight in the air and then...
It's the electric aircraft nobody saw coming. But don't let the silence fool you. Elon Musk's rumored Tesla X aircraft may not officially exist yet, but the technology behind it comes with surprises. Revolutionary propulsion systems, battery density breakthroughs, vertical takeoff capabilities, and operating costs that could reshape aviation forever. What happens when the man who revolutionized electric cars and commercial spaceflight turns his attention to aviation? And why does Tesla's expertise in battery technology, autonomous systems, and electric propulsion make them uniquely positioned to disrupt an industry that hasn't fundamentally changed in 70 years? Today, we're breaking down what a Tesla aircraft could look like, the technology that makes it possible, and whether this represents the future of personal aviation. Section 1. The vision behind electric aviation. Let's start with understanding why electric aviation represents the next frontier. The aviation industry has been constrained by the same fundamental limitations for decades: fossil fuel dependency, noise pollution, high operating costs, and environmental impact. Traditional aircraft engines are marvels of engineering, but they're also incredibly complex, expensive to maintain, and locked into infrastructure that hasn't evolved significantly since the jet age began. Enter electric propulsion. The numbers tell a compelling story. Electric motors are approximately 95% efficient compared to internal combustion engines at roughly 30% efficiency. That means far more of the energy goes into actual propulsion rather than being lost as heat. Electric motors have essentially one moving part compared to thousands in turbine engines, dramatically reducing maintenance requirements and costs. The real genius lies in the integration possibilities. Tesla has spent nearly 2 decades perfecting battery technology, thermal management systems, and electric drivetrain efficiency. Every innovation developed for Tesla vehicles, from battery cell chemistry to power electronics to energy management software, translates directly to aviation applications. This isn't theoretical, it's happening right now. One feature that continuously impresses aviation engineers is energy density improvement. Modern lithium-ion batteries achieve approximately 250 to 300 watt-hours per kilogram. That sounds technical, but here's what it means practically. You're looking at energy density that's now within striking distance of making electric aviation commercially viable for certain mission profiles. Section 2. The propulsion revolution. Moving to the heart of what makes electric aviation possible, the propulsion system represents everything modern about next-generation aircraft design. This isn't your grandfather's aircraft engine with combustion chambers and turbine blades spinning at tens of thousands of RPM. Instead, you're looking at what aviation engineers call distributed electric propulsion, powered by technology refined through millions of miles of Tesla vehicle operation. The centerpiece would be multiple electric motors positioned strategically across the airframe. Tesla's expertise in high-performance electric motors, developed for vehicles producing over 1,000 horsepower, translates directly to aviation. These motors produce maximum torque instantly, eliminate the lag associated with turbine spool-up, and provide precise thrust vectoring capabilities impossible with conventional engines. The Tesla X aircraft concept would likely feature vertical takeoff and landing capabilities, similar to what we're seeing emerge in the electric vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL, sector. Think about that for a moment. Your aircraft could take off from your driveway, rooftop, or small private pad, eliminating the need for traditional airports entirely. It's technology that was pure science fiction just a decade ago. Battery thermal management, the same technology keeping Tesla vehicles operating in extreme temperatures from Norwegian winters to Death Valley summers, ensures optimal battery performance throughout the flight envelope. For pilots transitioning from traditional aircraft, the real beauty lies in simplified systems and dramatically reduced pilot workload. Stick around until the end to see the real numbers behind what it could cost to operate this technological marvel per hour, and why the answer might surprise even seasoned aircraft owners. Section 3. Autonomous Flight Integration. Now let's talk about what makes this aircraft truly revolutionary. The autonomous systems integration. Tesla has accumulated more autonomous driving data than any company in history, with millions of vehicles providing billions of miles of real-world learning. That expertise translates directly to aviation in ways most people don't fully appreciate. The Tesla X aircraft would feature what engineers call full envelope protection. The flight computer continuously monitors every parameter: airspeed, altitude, attitude, weather conditions, traffic, terrain, and thousands of other variables. It processes this information thousands of times per second, ensuring the aircraft remains within safe operating parameters at all times. Think of it as having an expert pilot constantly monitoring and backing up every decision you make. Want to climb too steeply? The system gently prevents an aerodynamic stall. Banking too aggressively? It maintains safe load factors automatically. Flying toward terrain or obstacles? It provides both warnings and automatic evasion if necessary. The autopilot system goes far beyond what exists in current general aviation. Using the same neural network technology that enables Tesla vehicles to navigate complex traffic scenarios, the aircraft could handle complete flights autonomously. Plan your route, and the system calculates optimal altitude, speed, and routing while monitoring weather and traffic. It's like having a personal airline flight planning department built into your aircraft. Weather radar integration means you can see storm cells hundreds of miles away, with the system automatically calculating optimal routing to avoid turbulence and precipitation. For pilots concerned about safety, consider that the aircraft would essentially have multiple independent systems monitoring every aspect of flight, creating redundancy that far exceeds traditional aircraft. Section 4. The cabin experience. Let's explore where passengers would spend their time. The cabin. A Tesla aircraft wouldn't just transport you. It would create an environment that redefines what personal aviation means. The absence of a traditional engine up front opens up design possibilities impossible with conventional aircraft. The numbers would be impressive. We're looking at a cabin that could accommodate 4 to 6 passengers in executive configuration, with individual seats that adjust, recline, and rotate with controls integrated into armrests. Think Tesla Model X meets private aviation. The cabin would feature the same premium materials, attention to detail, and technology integration that Tesla vehicle owners have come to expect. The cabin windows would be oversized, potentially incorporating electrochromic dimming technology that adjusts transparency electronically rather than requiring manual shades. Imagine flying at sunset and having your windows automatically adjust to maintain optimal cabin lighting while still providing spectacular views. The real genius lies in the connectivity options. Built-in wireless charging, multiple USB-C ports providing high-speed charging, integrated displays for each passenger, and potentially Starlink satellite internet connectivity keep you connected regardless of altitude or location. You're not just flying, you're working, relaxing, or entertaining in an environment designed around your needs. One feature that would set this aircraft apart is the environmental control system. Electric heating and cooling operate silently and efficiently, maintaining perfect cabin temperature without the noise and temperature fluctuations common in traditional aircraft. The pressurization system, powered by electric compressors, maintains sea-level cabin pressure up to higher altitudes, reducing fatigue on longer flights. Section 5. Performance specifications. Now let's talk about what would make this aircraft fly. Based on current electric aviation technology and Tesla's battery capabilities, we can extrapolate realistic performance specifications. The aircraft would likely feature a battery pack in the 400 to 600 kilowatt-hour range, using Tesla's most energy-dense cells with advanced thermal management. Range represents the primary limitation and opportunity in electric aviation. With current technology, expect approximately 250 to 400 miles of range, depending on configuration, passenger load, and weather conditions. That covers the majority of general aviation missions. You're looking at flights from Los Angeles to San Francisco, New York to Washington, D.C., or London to Paris without needing to recharge. The cruise speed would likely reach 200 to 250 miles per hour, competitive with high-performance piston singles and light twins. The real magic happens in the climb performance. Electric motors producing maximum power instantly mean climb rates that would astonish pilots accustomed to piston aircraft, reaching cruise altitude in minutes rather than the extended climbs required by traditional aircraft. Maximum altitude would probably be limited to around 15,000 feet, adequate for most missions while avoiding the need for complex pressurization systems in early iterations. The landing and takeoff performance would be exceptional. Vertical takeoff capability means you need almost no runway, opening up landing sites that traditional aircraft simply cannot access. The aircraft would feature redundant motor systems. Lose one motor, and the remaining motors automatically increase power to maintain flight. Lose two motors in a 6-motor configuration, and you still have sufficient power for controlled flight and landing. This redundancy exceeds what's available in most single-engine piston aircraft. Section 6. Charging infrastructure. One consideration that significantly impacts electric aircraft. Viability is charging infrastructure. Tesla's experience building the world's largest fast-charging network for vehicles translates directly to aviation. The company understands better than anyone how to deploy charging infrastructure at scale and make it user-friendly. Imagine Tesla supercharger stations adapted for aviation use. You land at your destination, taxi to the charging station, plug in, and in 30 to 45 minutes, you're back to full charge. During that time, you're grabbing lunch, making business calls, or simply relaxing in the FBO lounge. The charging time, while longer than refueling a conventional aircraft, fits naturally into most trip profiles. For home base operations, you'd install a high-powered charging system similar to a Tesla wall connector, but scaled for aircraft requirements. Plug in overnight, and you wake up to a fully charged aircraft every morning. The cost of electricity is a fraction of aviation fuel, potentially saving thousands of dollars annually on operating costs. The charging infrastructure could integrate with solar power systems. Install solar panels at your hangar, and you're essentially flying on sunshine. The environmental and economic benefits are substantial. You're looking at near zero marginal cost for each flight after the initial solar installation. Battery swap technology represents another possibility. Rather than waiting for charging, the aircraft lands, the depleted battery pack is robotically removed, a fully charged pack is installed, and you're airborne again in minutes. Tesla has explored this technology for vehicles, and the same principles apply to aviation. Section 7. Operating costs. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. What would it actually cost to operate a Tesla X aircraft? Based on electric aviation economics and Tesla's cost structure, we can estimate realistic operating expenses. The aircraft purchase price would likely start around $800,000 to $1.2 million for an early production model, with prices decreasing as production scales. However, the purchase price represents only part of the ownership equation. For the Tesla X aircraft, you're looking at approximately $150,000 to $200,000 per year in total operating costs, assuming you fly 150 hours annually. That's dramatically lower than comparable conventional aircraft. Breaking that down, insurance would run $20,000 to $35,000 per year, depending on pilot experience and coverage. Hangar costs range from $15,000 annually in smaller markets to $75,000 in premium locations. These costs are similar to conventional aircraft. Where electric aviation changes everything is maintenance and energy costs. Maintenance for electric propulsion systems is minimal compared to piston or turbine engines. No oil changes, no spark plugs, no magnetos, no complex fuel systems. Annual inspections and routine maintenance typically total $30,000 to $50,000 per year. Compare that to $150,000 or more for turbine aircraft. Energy costs at current electricity prices and 150 hours of annual flying run approximately $8,000 to $12,000 per year. Compare that to $60,000 to $80,000 in fuel costs for a comparable piston twin or $150,000 plus for a turbine. The savings are substantial. Battery replacement represents the largest long-term cost consideration. Tesla batteries are designed for thousands of charge cycles, potentially providing 15 to 20 years of service in aviation applications. Replacement costs would likely run $200,000 to $300,000, but spread over 15 years, that's manageable expense. Section 8. The future of aviation. The depreciation story for early electric aircraft will likely follow technology adoption curves we've seen in other sectors. Early adopters will experience higher depreciation as technology improves rapidly. However, as the technology matures and becomes standardized, values should stabilize similar to conventional aircraft. When you factor in operating cost savings, environmental benefits, and reduced maintenance complexity, electric aircraft represent a compelling value proposition for specific mission profiles. The technology isn't ready to replace all aviation applications yet, but for regional travel, personal transportation, and urban air mobility, electric propulsion offers advantages that conventional aircraft cannot match. The aircraft appeals to a specific type of owner, someone who values innovation and efficiency over tradition, someone willing to accept current range limitations in exchange for dramatically lower operating costs, and someone who appreciates being at the forefront of aviation's next revolution. For the right operator flying the right missions, an electric aircraft delivers unmatched value. Tesla's potential entry into aviation would accelerate development across the entire sector. Their expertise in batteries, electric motors, autonomous systems, and manufacturing at scale could compress decades of development into years. Whether they ultimately produce an aircraft or license technology to aviation partners, Tesla's influence on electric aviation's future is undeniable. Call to action. A Tesla X aircraft could cost $800,000 to $1.2 million to purchase and $150,000 to $200,000 annually to operate, but would deliver whisper-quiet operation, instant torque, autonomous capabilities, and operating costs 50% lower than comparable conventional aircraft. The question is, does this represent the future of personal aviation that will make fossil fuel aircraft obsolete within 20 years? Or will battery technology limitations keep electric aircraft confined to short-range missions forever? If you enjoyed this glimpse into the future of luxury aviation, a like and subscription would mean the world. And for those who dream of flying in cutting-edge style, click right here to watch our video on the real cost of owning a Cirrus Vision jet. See you in the skies.